It feels like everybody I know is starting to play Digimon TCG, and as a Shadowverse player, I want to know if I can roll with the big dogs. So today, I have my friend East, a Digimon content creator, on the channel to quiz me. He's gonna pick out a couple Digimon cards, and I'm gonna see if I can correctly guess whether or not they're any good. So, let's just dive into it. Thank you so much, East, for coming on. You're like the Digimon guy, and we're here to guess how good some of these cards are.
Oh man, you have no idea. Me and my Discord homies were scheming last night putting together this list.
Oh no.
I was like, give me the best stuff that's scuffed, and then like the scuffed stuff that looks good. So we have devised a list of 10 cards for you to try and guess how good they are in the game. Now I'm gonna give you a little bit of a heads up right off the bat. We didn't pick any like middle of the road kind of cards. These cards are either all amazing or all bunk. Okay. So we're gonna eliminate all like that crazy middle ground. It's all black and white today.
Okay, I mean that is a big hint. I will say you did teach me the basic rules of Digimon when I was in Japan. But since then, after learning the basic rules, I've basically not played the game at all. So I have a feeling I'm going to do really poorly today. But let's find out. Okay, just going by the card labels here on the drive. Card number 1, Apocalamon. So, oh my god, it's 15 cost.
Yeah, he's a thick boy.
And it digivolves over a level 6.
4 colors, so he can digivolve over a blue, green, black, or purple card for 6 cost.
Okay, it's pretty flexible then. 15,000 power, level 7 card. When this card would be played by placing up to 3 Dark Masters trait cards with different names from your battle area or trash under it, you reduce the play cost by 4 for each one. Okay, that's pretty significant discount. If I'm thinking like in Shadowverse terms, they recently did that buff to Departed Soul Taker, where she got reduced by 4 every time you evolve, and that was a huge discount. So I'm already thinking like that's already gonna reduce this guy's cost by a lot. Okay, but his main effect here: end of turn, once per turn, by placing 1 level 6 or lower card from your trash as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. Activate 1 on-play effect on that card as an effect of this Digimon. Then, trash the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck for each of the Digimon's level 6 Digivolution cards. Okay, hold up.
So there's a lot going on here. So, for folks who don't know, Digimon uses like memory as a way to like manage the game. It's like play points in Shadowverse or energy cards in Pokemon or shits and giggles in Yu-Gi-Oh! But like basically, when you have memory, it's your turn, and you can spend as much as you want until it tips over to your opponent's side. So 15 is a huge cost, considering the maximum you can have in a turn is 10. So yeah.
Can this go to 0? Can this go to 0 cost?
So if you take a look at the effect at the top there, by putting 3 Dark Masters, you get -4 for each one. So it's 3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 15 DP is probably like a really high. It's actually a pretty high stat line for the game. So. He's a thick level 7 Digimon. He's huge.
Holy smokes, okay. Well, I know each of the colors in the game has like sort of different motifs and like traits. And this is like what color is this? This is a...
white.
Oh, okay.
So he exists outside of the normal color spectrum for other Digimon.
I know that one of the colors does interact with your trash and stuff. Kind of like how, you can mill cards in certain archetypes in Shadowverse and stuff. So here's what I'm thinking. If you mill your own deck enough to have Dark Masters cards in your trash, then it like gets pretty easy to get this guy out, I guess. And then if you have like a really strong level 6 card in your trash, especially if you have multiple level 6 cards underneath this card, you can like mill like your opponent's whole deck. So I'm like, especially if you get multiple of these out there. I mean, it seems like it's a hard effect to evaluate because there's so much going on. But I feel like if you have like cheap cards that mill your deck, mill your expensive stuff, and then put all of those expensive stuff underneath this guy, then suddenly this becomes very, very powerful.
Possibility,
Especially if one of the level 6s has like a good on play. And like, I don't know, like, the full context, obviously, because we're just judging these cards basically in a vacuum. I don't know, like, the full package you'd run Apocalamon in. But, gosh, if I had to choose between good and bad, because you sort of gave me that binary here, I will Gosh, this could just be super off the mark because it seems like it's such a complicated effect.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm like formulating the perfect scenario where like I play like a level 3 guy. It like mills a bunch of my stuff, and then I play this guy instantly, and it's like a huge stat guy that does a bunch of effects. I'm gonna say it's good. Lock it in.
Lock it in for good?
Yep.
I have great news for you, Igni. This card is so good. It was the first secret rare in the game to be limited to 1.
Whoa!
Bandai had never touched a secret rare card until this card came out. Because you would go to tournaments and you would play 7 rounds of mirrors against this card.
All right, we did it. That was a hard one to lead off with, Is. Like you...
I'll give you this, though. I'll give you this. Like, the card game, like, basics, the understanding, you put it together so fast that you're like, all right, if I just, like, get a low-level guy out there who mills cards into my trash and I have some good on play effects, then this card becomes cracked. And that's exactly what happened.
Reducing the cost by 12, like... The reason why I was able to like pick up on that is just because I had that context of Departed Soul Taker and Shadowverse very recently having a similar effect, and I'm like, 4 is a lot. You can
4 is a ton. There's like a 15 like DP Digimon that mills cards for 3 costs is insane. And if he died, all those cards went to the trash, and you could just play another one the following turn.
That's true. I didn't even realize that. All the cards you put under this guy to discount him, you can just do it again because it takes from trash.
Yeah, so like he could be easily recycled.
Holy moly! Well, usually when we do these videos, they like lead in with the easier card to evaluate, then go into the. You started off with like a platinum banger here. I'm like, what is this? I don't understand.
But you put it together. I'm actually quite surprised. You put it together so quickly. Like you basically made the deck in your head without ever like touching it.
I mean,
that's amazing.
You did give me a hint there where it was like either good or bad, and if I had to pick between those two, it's like, okay, I can see this being good, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do as well in the next ones. Let's see. Let's find out. Okay, this is a tamer card. Louis Oada. On play, you may move one of your level 3 Digimon or higher Digimon from the breeding area to the battle area. Okay.
If I could just interject for a second here, for folks who don't know, Digimon has like a 2 different areas in the game. One is the breeding area where you can safely raise a Digimon, and most effects in the game can't affect it. It's kind of like a safe space to like raise a big Digimon or to keep a Digimon until you need it at the perfect time. In the battle areas where all the fighting happens, cards are basically free targets to be touched by any of your opponent's effects, and so Louis is a card that takes a card from your breeding area and puts it into the battle area for you. You can only do that once per turn, so Louis is kind of like a second way to do that.
Okay. And then when one of your Digimon moves from the breeding area to the battle area, you can suspend this tamer to gain a memory. You get some of your mana back. Also, this has a security effect, so similar to, I guess, Duel Masters, if you get hit and you flip a card with a security, because you have like cards representing your health, and if you flip a card that has a security effect, it immediately activates.
Just like that, actually.
So you can play this for free. And I know that in Digimon, if your opponent if you start your turn with like 1 mana, there are tamer cards that bring you up to 3. So that's So you can always play this guy maybe if you set that up.
Keep in mind that the gaining memory effect is only on your turn. So if they was to be checked in security, then you could push a Digimon from the breeding area to the battle area, but you wouldn't gain any memory from it.
But if it was on your next turn, you could do it, I guess.
Yeah.
If it stayed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because tamers are kind of like amulets in Shadowverse, right? Where they like have stay up on the field. They're not
they kind of get like the nice blanket effect that helps you out over the course of the game. That's right on the mark.
If you didn't tell me that none of these cards were mid, I would have said this was mid. But now I don't know. Now I don't know. Because I'll just pull the curtain a little bit. I think with Apocalamon, I did hear that one of the secrets got banned, and I was like, it could have been this one. I didn't remember the name, so I was like, maybe it was this one. So I just went on my gut. But now I'm just completely blind. Holy moly!
Actually blind on this one, yeah. He's pretty new, actually.
This is a new card.
A newer card.
Okay. One of your level 3 Digimon or higher. So can you do that? Can you move? But you can't move like 2 Digimon from the breeding area in one turn with this guy, can you? Like you
So great question. So during the course of a turn, there's a couple of phases. So the first one is the active phase where you like unrest everything, and then there's the draw, and then after that is called the breeding phase. And so during that phase, you can do 2 things. You can either hatch an egg in the breeding area, or you can move the Digimon in the breeding area out to the battle area. But you can only do that once per turn.
Okay.
And if you hatch a Digimon, you can't evolve it and then immediately move it out in the same turn because that phase is over.
Oh, so in this case, you would be able to do that.
Yeah.
So if you okay. So like on the previous turn, if you moved one out, next turn you could hatch and then play this guy and get another guy out immediately.
And then gain a memory, yeah.
Oh, you're making it sound so good, but I'm wary of this being a debate.
I'll tell you, my homies in Discord and I were cooking last night.
When one of your Digimon moves from the breeding area to the battle area, you suspend this tamer, gain a memory. I mean, it just seems so good. No, but you can't grow it and then play this guy, can you? You can't grow the breeding.
You can.
You can. Okay.
Yeah. So again, breeding phase, you hatch an egg, and then main phase, you can evolve the Digimon, and then you could play a Louis after that. But keep in mind, this card does cost memory.
Oh yeah. Gosh. Okay. I'm like so afraid of being wrong, but it just seems so good, where you can like raise up this guy safely this entire time, and then you just get a huge guy out there for very little cost, and then you even get some memory back. God, okay, I'm gonna say it's good.
It's good?
Yep.
You locked in?
Yep.
You sure? No takesy backsies?
You're really making me regret this decision. Yes, lock it in. It's good.
You are absolutely correct. Yes, this card is amazing. So Louis is a card that, a little bit counter to what you were thinking, he's really good in super aggressive decks. So what you do is you can play multiple copies of this guy, and he stays on the field. So the second time you play a Louis on the field, and you promote a Digimon from the breeding area to the battle area, you can rest both Louis, and then you get 2 memory back. So the more of these you have on the board, the more memory you get back over the course of the game.
Oh yeah, that's so true. You can play more than one tamer. Yeah.
You can combine this with some older tamers from like a few sets ago, where they have the effect that if an Agumon card or a Gabumon card, the 2 guys,
the 2 guys,
they move from the breeding area to the battle area, you get a gain of memory and draw a card. That effect is not once per turn, so you can combine those tamers with Louis to actually gain memory whenever you promote.
Okay, that's really strong. I feel like I Mr. Magoo'd myself into that situation. I didn't even fully evaluate the card properly. But I got the right answer, so...
Hey, that's all that counts, man. If you Mark C but didn't know, you got it right, you knew.
Okay, card number 3, Doomsday Clock. Okay, this is an interesting one. It's a security...
So this is a bit of a yapper card. I'm sorry, there's a ton of text on this one.
No worries. So a security, so if this is checked as one of your security cards, like one of your health cards, you just add this to your hand immediately. And
yeah, that's pretty common for most option cards, actually.
Okay, gotcha. And options are like spells, right? Kinda.
Exactly, yeah.
Main. You play 1 Diaboromon token without paying its cost. Then place this card as the bottom Digivolution card of a Diarboromon without Doomsday Clock in it. Okay, and it's a 3000 DP. This just telling us what Diaboromon is, I guess.
Yeah, let me help out a little bit and fill in some of the gaps. Diaboromon is a deck that basically just makes copies of itself.
Okay.
And those are through the use of tokens. So this card says that if you have a Diaboromon on the board, you can put this card underneath it, and then you can make a token after that.
If your battle area has 4 Doomsday Clocks, you win the game. Oh, but that's at the start of your turn. So if you have if you have this under a guy, and your opponent battles it instead, this would go to trash, right? And it wouldn't be in your battle area.
If that card were to be destroyed, but when you put it underneath that Digimon, you get to use its inheritance effect. Okay. So let's take a look down there.
All turns. When this Digimon would leave the battle area by an opponent's effect, by deleting one of your other Diaboromons, you prevent it from leaving. Oh gosh. So you make a bunch of Diaboromon tokens, and then just have this Okay. And there's no field size limit, right? In Digimon?
No, you can have up to a bajillion Digimon if you wanted.
Okay.
There's no, like, I've seen games where you have like 7 or 8 Diaboromon in play at one time. So they're kind of like hiding the Doomsday Clocks underneath the Diaboromon.
You've seen games. So it is playable. Is that a red herring, perhaps? I don't know. Though.
I will say this. This is a card that came out pretty recently, BT17. We're currently in BT18, so like the booster set 18. So that's, yeah.
Place one. Oh, at the end of your opponent's turn, you also place a Doomsday Clock from the Digivolution cards in the battle area.
So that might be a little unclear. So let me fill in the gap one more time. So when you have the Doomsday Clock underneath a Diaboromon, underneath the Diaboromon, that for that time it is vulnerable, right? They can take out the clock.
Oh.
But at the end of your opponent's turn, if this card is removed from underneath a Digimon to just be played in the battle area, there are very few cards in the game that can actually touch it. So once it survives for one turn under a Diaboromon, it's basically just locked in play. And so once you stack up 4, you win the game.
Oh. Okay. Interesting.
This is actually, one of the first alternate win conditions the game ever had.
It's so hard to judge, though, because it does cost 3 to play. So you're spending so much of your memory in a turn, I feel like, just having a guy that doesn't really do anything for the board
keep in
state.
mind, you do get to play a Diaboromon token. So you'll get another token alongside this card as a way to kind of save itself with the inheritance effect later on, maybe.
Play 4 of these. And how many can you main deck?
So in the deck you're allowed to have a total of 4. So in Digimon the max out for any card is 4 with a few restrictions.
Oh, now I'm like it's not good because like imagine if one of them is in your security and like you don't flip it in time and you just can't get it out there. And like the other one's at the bottom of your deck or whatever.
That would be rough.
That would be rough. This is a you picked such a hard one. Like this is so much effect.
We were scheming, man. I'm telling you right now, we were scheming.
Gosh, I'm gonna say it's bad because maybe I'm just a cynic, but I'm like, what if I just never see my Doomsday Clock in time, and then my entire alternate win condition just doesn't do anything, and I'm spending mana just to get like a 1 weenie 3000 DP guy. Ugh. I'm gonna say it's bad. Lock it in. I'm really willing to be wrong, though. Let's see. All
right, here you go. So Igni has ruled that a card that is in alternate win condition to win the game no matter what
is bad.
Is correct.
Yes! Let's go! I'm just thinking like if this is in my bottom of my deck, then I just don't do anything all game. Is what I'm thinking. Is that right?
It's crazy how on the mark you are with some of like your thoughts about how cards fit into decks.
I was
like
not so sure I was wrong there, dude. I was so sure I was wrong.
I needed to sow the seeds of doubt, though.
You're better than Ryan Seacrest at this debating thing, dude. It's like you're about to go into a commercial break after this or something. I was like...
I will say, though, Diaboromon outside of the Doomsday Clock itself is a really cool deck. It's kind of themed off of Diaboromon from the Digimon movies, where he makes a tons of copies of himself, and the only way the good guys can win is to use Omnimon, you know, the like poster boy protagonist guy.
Yeah.
To take all of them out at the same time. So Omnimon, thematically in the game as well, has the effect to take out cards of all the same level. So he takes out all the Diaboromon tokens in one sweep.
Okay. These are, I'm getting them right, but these are not easy. Like this is
yeah, these are actually pretty diabolical.
But when you said that Doomsday Clock you only have 4 in your deck, I'm like, there's no shot. There's no shot, dog.
Yeah, so Black famously has almost no way to touch their security. So if one of these is in your security and it's like your last security, you're kind of cooked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm like, there's no freaking way. If you're enjoying this episode so far, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. It really does help out if you want to see more content like this in the future. Next one. Oh, I know this guy. This is the guy. Metal Greymon ACE. Okay, so an ACE card can blast Digivolve, right? Is that how this usually works?
Yeah, so early on in the game, things, I think in the first maybe like 10 or 13 sets, things got quite offensive. So like power creep ramped up so that decks just became more offensive overall. And then Bandai realized, hey, we need a way to stave off all of the offense and give players a way to meaningfully interact with their opponent on their opponent's turn. And ACE cards were the answers to that. But ACE cards give you some amazing effect while allowing you to also evolve on your opponent's turn whenever they make an attack. And usually those effects involve disrupting your opponent's board or attack in some way. However, these cards are so strong that all of the ace cards have what's called an overflow penalty. So they're so strong that if they were to leave the board in some way, you lose memory as a result.
Right, yeah, I see that at the bottom there.
Yeah, so the overflow 3 is like, you lose 3 memory whenever this card will be removed.
But if your opponent was, for example, attacking a level 4 Greymon, you could go, ba-bam, put this out immediately without paying the cost, and then their attack could be like, maybe it wouldn't even go through because the attack power of the card suddenly increased, right? So
that's true as well, yeah. So ace cards are all like a free evolution, so the Digimon inherently just becomes stronger alongside those other effects.
And yeah, you delete one of your opponent's Pokemon. Oh, sorry. You delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000.
Yeah, we delete them too.
I just woke up. Forgive me. I'm gonna get the freaking angry comments now. Oh boy.
They're coming for you.
Okay. It's on play and when Digivolving, so like you could blast Digivolve this, but you could also just play it as a 4-cost guy that has a removal effect. That seems pretty good. Losing the memory, that's kind of tough though. Is the overflow penalty only when you blast Digivolve, or is it even when you just normally play it and it gets removed?
Even when you normally play it.
Ooh, that's tough.
So if you were to evolve on your turn, this card is a 3-cost evolve. But you still get the effect, right? You still get the 3,000 effect.
Yeah.
I think the bonus here is that, like, when you play a card that's a level 5 for only 4, level 5s tend to be double this cost, play cost for the most part. So if you wanted to, like, quickly get to a level 6, you could just, like, play down this guy and then evolve into a level 6, like, right after.
Yeah, that seems pretty strong. The fact that it immediately impacts the board when it comes out, I really like. So, like, if they're attacking one of your Greymons, you can go, BAM! Your attack doesn't go through, and, like, snipe one of your other guys, you know what I mean? Like, that's
exactly that.
The overflow effect is pretty tough, but if you're saying that this power is usually at twice the cost, then it's kind of the same. So,
yeah, sort of,
that. The only problem is that your opponent can control whether the overflow happens or not, right? Because they take out they can use that to their advantage to get more memory on one of their powerful crucial turns.
Exactly.
Oh, but you can like 2-for-1 with this kind of, because like if the opponent with less attack, with less DP goes into this, they get destroyed, or
yeah. So if you were to battle, let's imagine they have a level 4 Greymon, and then they evolve into a level 5 Metal Greymon Ace, and you know their DP goes up as a result to 8,000 here. But you're attacking Digimon with only 7,000, then that Digimon would die, and the Metal Greymon Ace would live.
So you could like 2-for-1 with this card, which I feel like is pretty strong. I feel like this is also dependent a little bit on how good Greymon is, and I don't know. So I'm gonna have to take a bit of a gamble.
I'll say this, like even in a vacuum, I think this card keeps its own like strength.
Okay. I think like it just sounds. You got me second guessing and stuff because you've been the master of just like.
Yeah, Iggy sweating turn 4, turn 5.
No, legitimately, I'm like, if you blast Digivolve without paying the cost of this.
Feels great, right?
And it dies. You're paying 3 for a big guy that could have disrupted your opponent's play. So that seems good. I'm gonna say it's good. Lock it in.
You're locked in.
Yeah.
Good again. You're still locked in. Wow. Okay. Did the East give him all good cards? All right.
I mean, the last one was bad. So.
Oh yeah, fair.
You know, when you're answering all B's and you get 1 C, it's time for B again. You know, and on multiple choice, it's good.
All right. Metal Greymon Ace locked in. He's good. You are absolutely not correct. No! This card is bunk.
He seemed so strong. Okay, so why is he bad? Why is he bad?
He's bad because of all like decks have multiple ace choices, and he is among one of the weakest out there. So only hitting a 6,000 means that pretty much only if an opponent's level 4 attacks, then you're okay. Because level 4s typically go up to like 6,000 like maximum DP. But if they have a level 5 or level 6 or level 7, then this Metal Greymon Ace is basically just useless. He's just cannon fodder.
It's sort of like you have like the opportunity cost of like just picking a much better ace card for your deck. Because you can only have 1 ace in your deck, is that right?
No, you can have as many aces as you want actually. Just keep in mind that whenever they're removed from the board, you're going to suffer that overflow penalty every time.
Okay.
There are decks that operate by just stacking ace cards together to gain a huge advantage, but if that tower falls, poo boy.
Gets like a full 10 memory. Okay.
Yep.
And there's just better options than Metal Greymon, where he's like relatively low impact for an ace.
Yeah, you've got ace cards like what is it? Mega Gargamon, Saint Gargamon, or Mega Gargamon Ace, who can prevent your opponent from evolving. He's other cards that can de-digivolve your opponent's Digimon 3 times and then block. Yeah, when you take a look at those cards and you look at Metal Gray Ace, it's like, well, I think I'm just gonna pick something else.
Yeah, okay, I understand. So the overflow of the penalty is much bigger than I initially thought, I suppose, where your opponent being able to control when they get that memory back is pretty strong.
Yeah,
like,
I will say
relatively low impact, I guess, because it only affects like level 4 or lower cards, basically.
Yeah, to that same point, I think that the overflow penalty for this card is actually pretty well suited to the effect it gives, where you've got other cards that have an overflow penalty of 4 or even 5 in some cases.
Yeah, that's tough. Man, I thought this guy, he's the guy!
Gotta take an L eventually, baby. He had a good run.
How is he bad? Man, that stings. Yeah, I really had no clue. I think in my mind, like, the 2-for-1 effect is so powerful in other card games that I play that I'm like, yeah, it's gotta be good, but I guess...
Yeah, but opportunity cost here, gotcha.
Wrong. Okay. Damn.
That was a bit tricky, though. I'll admit that one.
We took a minus on that one. Okay. Suddenly I'm not feeling less confident about the rest of these. Okay. Next up. Big Ukkomon. 12 cost. You can digivolve over any color.
Yup.
And it's a 13,000. Okay. On deletion, return all tamers to their owner's hands. Then you may play a tamer card from your hand and an Ukkomon from your trash without paying the cost. So if this guy dies, suddenly you sort of reset the board a little bit. And then return once per turn. You can return a Digi-Egg from your trash to the bottom of the Digi-Egg deck. Okay. The Digi-Eggs are ones that you raise in the breeding area, right?
Yeah, you can only have a maximum of 5, but most folks typically use 4.
And then you delete one of your opponent's Digimon at the lowest level. Then you may play one level 4 or lower card from your hand to an empty space in your breeding area without paying the cost.
Yeah, so basically you take an egg, put it back onto your egg deck, and then you can pop stuff and then play stuff as well. That's at the end of your turn. But keep in mind, you have to be able to put a Digi-Card or Digi-Egg back underneath your egg deck in order to do this. That's a cost.
Okay. That is a cost. But if you just play a guy from the breeding area, and then you get to put a card from your hand into your breeding area on that same turn after you already brought the Digimon from the breeding area out into the field. So
yeah, one more time.
So if you put a card from the breeding area on your turn, you move a card from breed to field.
Yep.
With this card, you can immediately, on that same turn, put a card from your hand into the breeding area because it's empty, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can always keep that area full with this feller. And I want to kind of build a story as we kind of do these. So I very intentionally put the order of these cards in the way they are because Louis Oada is actually thematically paired with Big Ukkomon. Okay. So if you can think about Louis, you can think about this guy.
Well, Louis was good. So, but this is that is such a debate phrase that you just said there where I'm like, oh, Big Ukkomon's good then. Like, what if he's not, though? What if he's not? I mean, 12 cost is a lot to pay it immediately, but
the evolve for 5 is not bad.
Any level 5, you can get a level 4 from your breed. You get a level 4 from your hand into your breed. Next turn, you bring that out there, play a level 5, then you can digivolve into this guy, right? So that's a thing.
I mean, you can set up multiples of this guy if you wanted to.
Yeah, okay.
So keep in mind, the deletion effect is also quite important. Where remember, there are some decks that really want those amulets or those tamers on the board. So they have to really weigh the consequence of actually removing him.
Wait, so you can get a level 4 into your breed, then play Louis and get that level 4 out for 3.
Uh-oh, the gears are moving. The gears are moving.
Right?
Uh-oh.
You can get
the gears
you
are
can play
spinning.
the Louis and get the level 4 out on that turn, right? Then go into a level 5, then go into Big Ukkomon. Hold the phone.
Uh-oh. He sees it. He sees the vision.
I see the vision, but is it a good vision or is it a trap set by a diabolical mind?
You decide.
I mean, it's pretty big power. I mean, the fact that it can digivolve over any color is kind of nice, so it's flexible in that way. And just getting stuff out from your breed into your field. You can get so many out there, right? Because You're doing it basically every turn if you have the Louis and the big Ukkomon.
Yeah, I mean you're putting it together, man. I don't know.
Okay, you know, the only reason I'm hesitant is because of your sinister demeanor.
Wait, what? Hold on. Judge the cards in a vacuum. I'm just here as I'm like the macaroni of macaroni and cheese, and the cards are the cheese, right? Like I'm just the vehicle to the cards. You just don't judge me. Judge the cheese. You don't care about the
like
macaroni.
Sometimes the way you present them is perhaps coloring my view in a subconscious way. You know, that's all. And I'm just, you know, I'm not immune to propaganda, as they say. Okay, all that in mind, with the Louis and everything, oh god, it's gonna be bad, isn't it? I'm locking it in as good. Let's say it's good.
It's good?
Yeah.
Final answer.
Yes.
Big Ukkomon is good. Igni, you are absolutely incorrect.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. This card is ass.
You know, I was really on a 50-50 on that one. I could have tossed a coin, but I felt so good about myself figuring out the Louis combo that I was like, yeah, let's go for the positive spin, but it was wrong. Damn.
Yeah, unfortunately, the cost for this card, even the evolve cost, is way too high at 5. Also, the effects that it has, the end of turn, you have to have a Digicard or Digi-Egg in your trash to use this, and so like it seems a little, I don't know, too restrictive. Whereas there are some actual Ukkomon cards, they're level 3s, and they're fantastic.
Okay. So
like they are
Louis and Louis is so flexible you can put in pretty much anything, and this guy is really restrictive. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so Big Ukkomon, even though I think he was meant to have his own deck to coincide with the Digimon Adventures 02 movie release that basically featured him, he was created because of that movie. Mm-hmm. He was actually the main antagonist of the movie. Okay. He ended up being far more lackluster in the card game.
I feel like you led the horse to water, but the water was full of cyanide. Like you really walked
delicious,
me over to
delicious
that
cyanide.
All right, let's move on to the next card here. It's another tamer, Matt Ishida. Also has a security effect of being able to be played without paying its cost. When one of your Digimon with Gabumon or Garu... Oh, wait, this is a grown-up version of that guy?
That is the adult version of that dude.
I know this guy from the
Leonardo
anime.
DiCaprio finger snap with the drink. Yeah.
So when Gabumon or Garurumon in its name moves from the breeding area to the battle area, gain a memory and trigger draw 1. Oh, that already seems good. I like that. I like that. Okay. Once per turn, you can Digivolve a Gabumon into a Gabumon Bond of Friendship for its Digi-Evolution cost, but ignoring its level. If you do, trash the top 2 cards of your security stack. Eee. Okay. Oh, but they don't go to your hand.
No, they just get trashed. No, they don't. They typically don't get any effect. There are a few cards that do, but that's very rare in the game.
If you have one or more security cards, delete that Digimon at the end of the turn. Wait.
So I want to fill in a couple of little tidbits here regarding Gabumon Bond of Friendship.
Okay.
So in Digimon, there are levels from 3 to 7, and Gabumon himself is level 3. He's called a rookie. And Gabumon Bond of Friendship is a level 7 card.
Oh.
And yeah, there are not a ton of level 7 cards in the game. As you saw, Apocalamon was a level 7, so they're actually quite powerful.
But
so this card allows you to
trash your security though, so you're basically taking down your own health for this effect, right?
That's true. I just want to kind of keep in mind that you're going from a level 3 to a level 7, so you can kind of understand the reasoning for the cost of those 2 security being trashed.
And if you have one or more security, you have to delete the Gabumon?
Yeah, so it basically that Gabumon who evolved into the level 7 Bond of Friendship, he would be deleted at the end of the turn.
But you can attack that turn, right?
As long as you have the ability to attack, yeah, you can attack. Yeah, so there's like 2 kinds of effects here, kind of going off at one time, like the main effect and then the your turn effect.
Is Gabumon's a rookie, right? It's not an egg.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to hatch an egg and then raise it to Gabumon first, and then move it to the field to activate this your turn effect.
Yes. So you must hatch it and then raise it in the battle or the breeding area, and then move it to the battle area.
Gosh, from like level 3 to level 7. And Gabumon Bond of Friendship as a level 7 might have like a crazy like on Digivolve effect as well. And that would activate with this once per turn effect, right?
For folks who don't know, in Digimon, you start with a total of 5 security. And so over the course of the game, that number can go up or down. But typically when your opponent attacks, it goes down.
Yeah. It's kind of
and
like...
if you have 0 security and then they attack you one more time, you lose.
Yeah. It's like a shield value. Like 5 cards
yeah, exactly.
become your shield.
Mm-mm-mm.
But maybe getting cards out of your security is not that bad, because you can maybe take it from trash back into your hand with some other effect. That's also a consideration.
Yeah, that's also a possibility. Yeah, being able to actually like get those cards out of the security into the trash, so you can like maybe if they're useful, you can pick them back up in some way.
Is this a white card? Like what color card is this?
Oh, sorry, this is a blue card.
Okay.
Yeah, blue in Digimon is mostly revolving around not strong Digimon, but like resource-oriented Digimon. So you'll see lots of blue cards either give you more card draw or in some ways more memory. So you take a look at this Mad Ishida Tamer, you can see like how that kind of fits into the theme, right?
Man, you know, I was gonna say, oh, this guy, he's got a very interesting effect. You get to draw, you get to gain memory, you get to evolve to level 7, and he's an anime card, so it must be good. But we just talked about Metal Greymon. That guy was dookie, so I'm like, I don't think I can use that as a metric anymore.
Protagonist power, who knows?
But I don't know, man. It seems good. It costs 3. You can pretty much always play it. You get this like recurring effect where you get to draw a card and gain memory whenever you get a Gabumon out. So like every second turn or so, you can probably do that, and then and like you get the Gabumon out and you immediately can digivolve it into a level 7, go for a big swing. But it is a high cost, like trashing 2 of your security, but
yeah, I will say it like that. I think it's worth the value of skipping 4, 5 to get 3 levels in the game.
That's the thing. I was just about to say. But as we've established, you are a cruel and
hold on.
game master.
Pay attention to the cheese, not the macaroni, bro. Mad Ishida, don't worry about me.
Dude, it just seems so good. Like, you get this out, like, on your early turn, and then you get this recurring draw and memory value, and then also once in a while you get to get a level 7, and that guy is just like, shabam. Like, you don't have to activate that effect. You can, if you want to, on your turn.
Exactly. You can.
So I'm like, man, it's good. Lock it in. Final answer.
Locked in at good? Mad Ishida. Good card.
Good card.
You are absolutely correct, but not for the reasons you think.
Is that another one of those situations where I got the right answer with the wrong working?
Sort of. Actually, this card was a little bit more of a memory test than anything else.
Okay.
And you were so close. You were so close. Remember when we talked about Louis Oada being able to play? You can play him down, and then if there's 2 on the board, you can rest both of them and gain 2 memory. I mentioned there were some other cards that also helped alongside that, and this was one of them.
Yeah.
So let's imagine a scenario where you have 2 of these Mad Ishida Tamers on the board, and then you play a Louis Oada for 3 cost. And you move out a Gabumon. So you Gabumon from the breeding area to the battle area with the Rui effect, and then you have 2 mats on the board. You get 2 memory from the mat, and then you can rest the Rui and gain another memory. And so the Rui's cost of 3 becomes 0.
Yeah, that's good.
Because you've gained all the memory back, and you got 2 card draw off of it. So this card is fantastic for that first your turn effect. The main effect doesn't matter so much because you're typically not going super hard.
I did say that. I said the your turn was better than the once per turn.
Yeah, you were absolutely on the mark with that one. But the aggro ability of this card for what we call Gabumon decks or Gabumon Rush decks is really good because this effect is not once per turn. So if you find a way to keep hatching eggs during one turn and then keep moving them out, you're always going to get that benefit.
And the Louis helps with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just say that I subconsciously factored in the Louis, and we'll give that.
We'll give him we'll give him half credit on that one. Yeah,
we'll get a W on that one. I evaluated it correctly, so I'll take that.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Whoa! This guy's got a lot going on. So he's got 3 colors. He's yellow, blue, and black.
Mm-hmm.
And he can digivolve for 4 over a level 5 yellow, blue, and black. Or you can play it for 12, which is a lot. 12,000 BP.
He also has one other little special rule for digivolving. He says that if you digivolve from a Magnamon card, which is a level 4 Digimon, be very upfront with that, that's 2 colors, then this is a cost 5 evolve. So you can essentially skip 1 level for 5 cost.
Yeah, okay. And it has blocker, so you can use it to prevent another attack on another one of your guys. And I have no idea what Armor Purge is. What is
So
that?
Armor Purge. So in Digimon, there was a series that was focused on armors, and armors are like here I haven't actually watched the series either, but I do know the armors are like these like items that the tamers have that they combine with the Digimon, and the Digimon can basically like go into different evolution lines as a result of the different armors. So it's kind of like Eevee, right? Like giving Eevee like a Moonstone or Firestone or whatever.
Right.
So you could have like one Digimon and with different armors evolve into something else. And so the protagonist Digimon had an armor that could go into Magnamon, and then Magnamon could actually go one level further into Magnamon X Antibody.
Which is this guy.
Yeah, so when you are as an Armor Purge Digimon are thematically destroyed in the game, you can just pop off the top card and it survives.
Oh.
So if a card has Armor Purge, when that card would normally be destroyed, not only destroyed, not like bounced to hand or to deck or whatever, when they're destroyed, you just take the top card off, put that in the trash, and the Digimon itself remains.
Oh, and you can go back to your level 4 Magnamon basically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So keep that in mind.
It's got even more effects though. When Digivolving, if Magnamon X Antibody or an Armor 4 trait card is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon gets 3,000 DP and isn't affected by your opponent's effects. Then unsuspend it, so you can attack immediately with this?
So that's assuming that the Magnamon was rested before. But let's imagine that they attack your security while he's rested, and they hit a security and it comes off the top. He would have then, his effect would also allow you to pop him back up and he could block again. What? So it's a very flexible effect, like attacking and blocking.
So if you attack with the Magnamon, you can play this guy over the Magnamon, he can attack again?
Exactly.
Oh. Well, wait, sorry, how do you use this defensively? Like, what'd you say? Like, if...
Take a look at the all turns effect. I think that'll clear it up.
Once per turn, when a card is removed from a security stack, you may activate one of this.
Keep in mind that says a security stack. That doesn't designate whose it is.
What? Wait, what? Wait! So you can attack with the Magnamon, go into Magnamon X Antibody, attack with the Magnamon X Antibody, remove a security stack, and then you go again?
Yeah, that's actually a legal play, yeah.
And it gets 3,000 DP?
Not
and
bad,
it's
yeah,
not affected by effects? What the hell? Wait, is this a bait? How is this bad? Wait, okay. I'm like at the point where like, in my mind, this is so obviously good that it must be bad. Because of the way you have been doing this.
I was just saying, do not become jaded by me as the presenter. Just judge the card on its own.
You've made me a cynical, skeptical man. But that seems so crazy. Magnamon X Antibody, swing again, and then you just win.
Well, remember 5 security. You're taking out 3 at max, right? Also, he's kind of thick, right? 5 cost evolve off of a level 4 and a 4 cost evolve off a level 5. So
wait,
you're
why are you taking out 3 at max? I think I'm missing something here. So if you attack with the Magnamon first,
that's 1.
Then you play Magnamon X Antibody, you refresh, attack
Yep.
again.
That's 2.
Then you attack again.
That's 3.
Can you not just attack again after that?
Oh, keep in mind that effect is once per turn.
Oh, you're right.
So you're locked at 3, unless you find another way outside of this card's own effect.
Okay, I did not process the once per turn. I was like, you can just win with this guy, Lamau.
He does good, he said.
I mean, that still seems pretty strong, though. Getting rid of 3 security. And, like, if your opponent got rid of their own security, then you have even less to swing through. You could just win with this guy, maybe. Could be. And, I mean, the fact that he gets 3,000 DP is nice. You get the 15k stat line to go over 13ks, which is good.
That's true.
And that means that even if they have a blocker, you know, you can take that out. But if they do have a blocker, then the once per turn active effect doesn't activate them. You didn't get rid of the security.
Yeah, how about that?
I'm starting to think this card may be bad, but I cannot decide. That being said, defensively, so if you block with this, right, and it doesn't die, and then the next attack gets rid of one of your securities, this guy can block again, right?
Yeah, he can become active after your security gets taken out, and then he becomes a blocker again.
Flexible in that way too.
Yeah. Bro, look at the art. How bad could this? He's all gold.
You are actually so cruel.
How bad could he be? He's all gold,
Just
bro.
because you said that, I want to say this card is bad now. Just because you said that.
Don't focus on me. Focus on the card. I'm just letting you know, bro.
You're making it difficult to do.
He's shiny as hell, bro.
Listen, I want to say this is good, but I just feel like where you're leading me, it's a little bit. It's maybe not as good as I think it is.
Nah, come on, man. He's gold. Look at him. Even the tail is gold. Look at that, bro. He's like Golden Frieza.
I just don't know how good Magnamon level 4 is as well. That's also a piece of the puzzle I'm missing here. Because if you do armor purge this guy, he's like, if it gets taken out, you still do get a Magnamon on the field, so that's not so bad. But then how good is that Magnamon? I don't know. What if Magnamon is a stinker, you know?
Bro, let me ask you a question. How many cards do you know that look like a Gundam are bad?
You're one talkative macaroni right now, you know? That's all I'm saying. Okay, if I'm actually just judging the card by what I see here, it seems good. It's flexible. It's unaffected by effects. If you digivolve on this, so like you play it, and your opponent can't like target it with removal. I'm gonna.
Can I just fill you in? Right? Something you said there was actually pretty important. You said your opponent can't target it with removal. Your opponent can't remove it, but they can target it.
Okay.
So in Digimon, effects there's no effect that stops you from targeting something. So for example, if an effect would take place after your effect would like go away, you still have the sticker of that effect on it.
Okay. If this is bad, I'm gonna be so mad at you. I'm gonna say it's good. Lock it in.
Lock it for good?
Yep.
People are mouthing how good this card is, bro. They are tight how good this card is right now.
No, listen, I thought it was good off the rip, but I feel like I was being led around in a freaking merry-go-round of emotions, dude. I saw this effect and I'm like, it's gotta be good, but if it's East, man, it might be bad.
So, a little bit of more insight into this bad boy. Right today, actually, Bandai has announced that they will update the restricted list, and there are so many English players who want this guy gone. It's insane. But it's a secret rare, and Bandai has only ever hit one of the secret rare, which is the Apocalamon we talked about before, yeah. So I don't think he's going to get touched, but a lot of folks are really hoping he does, because they feel like being untouchable by effects, plus 15,000, plus armor purge, plus the ability to essentially block or attack twice is too much.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think he's fine. I think he can stay how he is.
I saw all those effects and I'm like, there's no way this guy's bad, but I had to stay on my toes just in case you were tricking me.
So you also asked a little bit about the Magnamon itself. You're like, how good could he actually be? Well, Magnamon is also an armor form.
Oh.
So this Digimon is like 2 layers of armor until you actually get to the core to actually take it out.
Yeah, that seems really strong.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
that makes
very
sense
strong
too, because if this guy has an armor form in the Digivolution, so if Magnamon, you know, it would activate that effect, right? So
exactly.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty good so far. What did I get wrong? I got 2 wrong so far out of 7. That's passing grade still. Let's take a look at the next one.
So let's see.
Okay, it's another ace, so I have to really take into account all of the opportunity cost stuff that we talked about earlier. Okay, it's a green card. You can Digivolve for only 3 over a level 5. Okay, or you can, you can blast Digivolve for nothing. That's fine too.
Also, something makes me believe that Bandai misspelled this card's name and just never went back to fix it.
Didn't put the A in there.
Like, we pronounce it Diarbbitmon, but like they don't spell it that way, but that's how it's pronounced, so who knows at this point.
Diaboromon.
Yeah.
Oh man, okay. When you play or Digivolve, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. If they have no unsuspended Digimon, you gain 2 memory. Whoa! Okay.
Messing with the resource mechanic. All right, I see you.
If they're attacking you a lot, like you, this is sort of like a recovery mechanic too against an aggro deck, right? Like if they have their whole field like swinging at you, a field of weenies. You play this guy, you get the memory back.
And keep in mind that as long as the memory counter is at 0 or higher, you get to keep your turn. But if it tips over, your turn ends.
I was just gonna say that because if you blast Digivolve this on one of their attacks and you get the memory back and it swings over to your side, their turn ends and they can't attack with their other guys anymore anyway.
Exactly. You can essentially steal their turn.
It just becomes your turn. When attacking, you may play one Digimon with Diaboromon in its text from your hand without paying the cost. At the end of your opponent's turn, return it to the hand. Oh!
Yeah, so Diaboromon is a
bouncing in Shadowverse a little bit. Get a guy out there that bounces back to hand.
And then there are some Diaboromon cards that are like just good value cards to use, whether it just be for a turn on the field. And they have a couple of those, so you can use those cards as like resource cards later on during your turn.
This card seems so strong, but the overflow is like, oh man.
Yeah, it seems.
The overflow.
It seems that overflow.
But for me, like maybe I'm just biased, but I think that the concept, like that's one of the coolest things you can do in Digimon is stealing your opponent's turn. So whenever I see a card that does that, I'm like, oh, I like it. So I might be biased on this one.
I'll say this: your thinking there is pretty spot on. There are not a lot of cards that can actually steal your opponent's turn.
But overflow for only 11,000. Oh,
it can't be too cracked, right?
It costs 6 to play off the rip too. But I have a question. Teacher, if I have 5 memory and I play this, do I gain the memory back and then it goes back to my turn, or is it my opponent's turn?
So if you have 5 memory and you play this card and your opponent has 1 Digimon on the field and you suspend that Digimon, and then as a result they have no unsuspended Digimon, you get the memory back immediately, and so it tips over back and you get to keep your turn.
Okay, that is a big deal.
So you go to like 1 on your side, right? So 5 minus 6, and then it's -1 essentially, and then -1 plus 2 is 1.
That's a big deal. So that's one of the things that I was considering. Overflow 4 is tough.
Just don't lose them. It's fine. Just win, bro. What are you concerned about? Just win the game, bro. You stole a turn. What are you doing?
I mean, I'm super biased because I love the stealing the turn mechanic. So I'm gonna say it's good, but I'm fully prepared for this to be dookie based on the overflow.
He said dookie, bro.
I'm gonna say it's good though because I do love the effects. Maybe I'm just biased though.
All right, so we're locked in. Stealing turns is a good thing in Digimon.
Agreed.
With an overflow of 4. All right.
So the opponent, with overflow 4, your opponent can steal the turn back from you in a way. Hold up, I unlock in. I lock out.
Go on. Talk me through it.
God, yeah, because if you play this and you steal the turn, then you attack with Diaboromon, okay. But then
so you've been talking about playing him down a lot, but you can just evolve a level 5 into him, right? If you evolve a level 5 into him, he's a 1 cost level 6.
Yeah.
Because you get the 2 memory back, and he's a 3 cost evolve, so 3 minus 2. Yeah. Digimon players know some math,
But 11K,
basics.
11K. There are level 6s that have 13K. So
You
if
could
you're
go
at
off
that
one up.
stage in the game, you could just like kill it and get all your memory back. So I'm like,
I'll be really honest with you. The level 6s typically tend to have either 11, 12, or 13 thousand DP. So this is on the lower end, but that's like within like the normal band for level 6 cards.
Okay.
Which I feel like gives you no more information than you started with.
No, you're just making it harder. Fantastic stuff. Gosh, I love the effect. I think it's a really cool card. That overflow is tough though. Okay, you know what? My gut says it's the overflow is making me say it's bad, but I do like it. I'm gonna change my answer. Locking in now, it's bad.
Oh, so stealing your opponent's turn, overflow 4, 1 cost evolve, and you can play another Digimon, but 11,000 DP. Igni says final answer is correct. This card is absolutely Turd Town. This thing is awful, bro.
I thought it was good. No, but then when you reminded me that the overflow is 4, and I'm like, wait a minute. The opponent can just get a
Okay.
turn back from it then.
You know, no honor among thieves, bro. You take my turn, I'm gonna take yours.
Yeah, exactly. I was so close to saying it because I love the effect. I think it's really cool. But yeah, there's Overfill 4, dude, and it's at 11 and it's at the lower end. Come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah. Also,
bro.
the Digimon
Especially
on
when
the
you told
tag
me
have.
especially when you told me that Magnamon's in the game, bro. That guy's gonna
Look-
delete this guy.
Magnamon, who is not an ace, by the way, he just exists in his own realm. Yeah, when you combine this, or if you look at Magnamon and look at this, you're like, wait, what? Why am I paying for things?
Yeah, why is this guy also a level 6? Magnamon is going to literally consume this man.
So to
Yeah.
be really open, this card actually came out during like between major box sets. It was themed after a kids anime called Digimon Ghost Game, which was pretty good for its time. And this is one of the 3 antagonist Digimon. So there's like a Triceratops, there's a jellyfish, and then there's the rabbit, Diarbbitmon here. And so yeah, that whole line was actually kind of bunk, unfortunately.
Rough.
As much as I like the protagonist stuff. Yeah.
I really like the effect, but I'm like, dude, especially like in a vacuum, I was like, oh, this is not bad. And then I literally moved my eyes to the left and I saw Magnamon. I'm like, nah,
Nah, they definitely built different.
I almost locked in good though, just 'cause I like the effect that much. But I'm glad I changed my mind. Okay, good stuff. Next card is the second to last card, Heaven's Judgment. While you have a green Digimon or Tamer in play, you can play this without meeting its color requirements. Oh, and it's a yellow card. Oh.
Yeah, so for folks who don't know, in Digimon, in order to play spells or option cards, you must have a card on the field or in the raising area that is that card's color.
So this is like sort of a dual color card in a way, because it works with
Yeah,
green and
actually.
yellow. Yeah.
So if you have like a green Digimon somewhere, then you could just use this instead. Or use this as well.
Activate the effect below for each color your Digimon have. Activate it again. Oh, so you can do like a green-yellow deck. Oh.
Now you're cooking.
One of your opponent's Digimon gets negative 6,000. Okay. And if you check it for security, you give minus 12 to a Digimon.
Yeah, keep in mind that lots of option cards also have the effect that says just do the main effect. This one is different. It says just do minus 12,000. Don't use the main effect.
The 7 is so expensive, though. That's a
Kind of chonky, right?
That's a lot.
I mean, if you want to take down a big Digimon without playing one of your own, then I mean, this seems fitting, right?
If it goes to negative DP, does it just die?
Yeah, so Digimon must be at over 0 DP to be alive. If they are at 0 DP, they're deleted immediately off the board. This goes through things like Armor Purge that we saw on the Magnamon before. So if you like minus 12k to him, and then he Armor Purges, the resulting Digimon also has minus 12k, so it Armor Purges again, and yeah, you just burn the whole stack immediately. So you can see how like there's some weaknesses and trade-offs to Armor Purge.
7 is so expensive. But I mean, maybe in a controlling deck, you just play this, and then you just like snipe, because you can choose the target, right? So you can go like minus 6k here, and then another minus 6k here, and then a minus 6k over here, and then like you get rid of the whole board maybe. But,
Well, keep in mind that your board must also be filled with the amount of colors to do that.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And like, if you only have a yellow and a green, you only do it twice.
Oh, sorry. Keep in mind that this card says activate the effect below, and then activate it again for every color you have. So the minimum you're going to get is 6,000, and then for every color after that, it's plus 6,000
So
more.
if you have green and yellow on field, you get 3 procs basically.
Exactly, yeah. So it's always 1 plus how many colors you have.
If you have a multicolored Digimon, does it activate? Is it all of them? Like if you have like
Yes.
Magnamon's 3 colors and is yellow.
Like, wait a second, he fits the bill.
Magnamon is 3 colors and is yellow. Ha! You're really making me. You're making me do a here.
I will say that right now in Digimon, so you have to judge it based on its current environment, right? The maximum amount of colors a Digimon will have is 3. They're mostly 1. Right now, they're starting to gain more traction for 2, but 3 is actually quite rare. I think that right now there's only 3 or 4 cards in the game total, and Magnamon is
And
one
there's
of them.
no like phases, right? You can swing first and then play this at the end of your turn or something like that.
Yeah, so the main phase in Digimon is kind of like this Wild West where there's no set order to do things. You kind of just do them until you can't. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you have the resource, you can just kind of play however you want.
No, I'm just like looking at Magnamon, and I'm like, you can play this and that. You can get rid of the entire board after you already swing. It's at security. If they have no blockers anyway.
I mean, 7 though, you're probably not keeping your turn.
7 is a lot, yeah. You would be passing it over. It's so expensive, but it does seem quite good. And the fact that it has like a pretty strong security effect too, that minus 12k, you can just maybe snipe a level 6. Like,
that's true, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, that's the cost of sniping level 6 though, right? 7.
But it's, if you check it from security, it's free, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah. So if you're checking security, then yeah. But I mean, to be honest, like knowing that most cards are like 12k and also 2 colors, then you're probably on average going to get like minus 18k out of this.
The fact that it's so like flexibly targeted too is quite nice. It kind of has smart targeting, where as long as you meet the requirements, you can go like 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, snipe them all, kind of thing.
That's true, yeah.
That's kind of cool. I'm gonna say it's good, but that's a tough call because it's so expensive. But I'm gonna say it's good.
All right, so Heaven's Judgment, a 7-cost option card to remove Digimon that is based on how many of your colors are on the board.
Yeah, I'm saying it's good. Lock it in.
Is good. Is absolutely correct. This is probably one of the best removal options in the game right now.
It's so expensive, so I was like of 2 minds about it. But what really tipped me over the scales was, one, considering the other options in the game right now. No, not options, but like the other Digimon in the game right now that have multiple colors. And the fact that it's so flexible targeting, I was like, it's probably good. But the fact that it's so expensive did almost give me pause there.
Well, no, I think that the fact that you honed in on Magnamon X Antibody, it was a great hit, because he is actually used alongside this card, so that once you set up your Magnamon X Antibody, you can then control the rest of the game. And Heaven's Judgment is a way to do that. If your opponent either tries to go wide, you can just pop a bunch of stuff like for 6,000, or if they try to go huge and get bigger than him, you can just pop that Digimon. Because with Magnamon X, it's minus 24,000, and there's not a lot of things in the game that survive that.
That's what I was thinking. Like when I saw that it's yellow and I saw that Magnamon's yellow, I'm like, there's something there.
Hold on. 3 colors.
Hey, I'm doing pretty well here. Well, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty your basics have definitely carried you through here to great success.
I got the card for it, like Ukkomon and Greymon, super long, but the rest I'm pretty happy about. Okay.
Now the final test.
Holy schmoly, this guy's breaking the frame of the card.
Yeah.
You know how I saw that in some of the other cards, they were like sort of peeking out from the frame? This guy's like, nah, I'm going straight through. There's no more frame.
Yeah, I'll say this, Digimon has some of like the best artwork I've really seen in any card game, and part of that is because like even regular cards will just break the frame, and the artwork is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is nice. Shoutmon X7 Superior Mode. And it's a level 7, so it's a big boy. All right.
It's a big chungus.
It costs 15 though, but if you place 1 Shoutmon from play as a Digivolution for this, you reduce its cost by 1. And you can also place cards in your trash as Digivolution cards for a Digicross. Huh?
Okay.
What does that mean?
So
that's what I was thinking. Like when I saw that it's yellow and I saw that Magnamon's yellow, I'm like, there's something there.
It's meant to just be hard played. So normally in Digimon, the idea, I think you kind of picked up on this earlier on, is that you have a Digimon who's really weak, and then you raise him up to be stronger and stronger and stronger. Well, there was a series in Digimon that said, you know what, we don't really care for that design. What if we made the Digimon like, I don't know, the Power Rangers Megazord, where you have 5 dudes who can combine to make 1 big dude. Oh. And that is what you get when you take a look at Shoutmon X7 Superior Mode. There's this entire subset of the game called the Digicross Digimon, where you can, instead of evolving, you can take those Digicross Digimon either from your hand or somewhere else on the board and put them up under a new Digimon who's bigger and reduce its cost. So if you look at the Shoutmon X7 Superior Mode, it says Digicross -1 in green text at the bottom. It says Infinity, Digimon cards with Cross Heart or Blue Flare trait with different card numbers. So if you take different cards that have one of these 2 traits but with different card numbers, essentially just different cards, then you can just reduce this card's cost for as many as you have.
And it's -1,
so he's like,
you reduce it by 1 every time, right?
Mm-hmm. So he's like the ultimate like Lego Megazord Digimon.
But you have to, okay, so you can play cards, but usually it's cards on your field, but this one can use cards from the trash, right? So that's kind of nice.
So there are ways that this card can use cards from the trash, and to give a bit more insight here, the cards in these kinds of decks typically whenever they're deleted, they're actually placed up under tamers to be reused later on as materials for like this big, huge Digimon you see here. And also, lots of those cards have inheritance effects. So as you stack more and more of them, you gain more and more inheritance effects like blocker or piercing or security attack +1. So as you build more of them, you get more effects as well.
Okay, so he costs a lot, but you can
15.
put a bunch of pieces into him, and he also gets cheaper and stronger by doing so.
Exactly, and so the Shoutmon here is a card that gives him rush, so that means he can be played. He can attack immediately. Excuse me.
And that's good. And on play, if I know something from Shadowverse, Storm is good.
Yeah, yup. Same here.
On play, return all of the Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck in any order, and return that Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck. Wait.
So that might seem weird. Like the reading for that is like, why would you do the inheritance cards first and then the Digimon? That's because a lot of Digimon have effects that says if this card is in my inheritance, like I can't be removed from the board. So what you do is you basically strip out all of their like source power, and then you just take out the card itself.
Gets around armor purge too, kind of. Right? Oh no, it would anyway.
Yeah, exactly. No, it does because you take out all the sources, so that when the Digimon dies, because there's nothing underneath, it just pops off into nothing.
And on your turn, all of your opponent's security effects on option cards don't activate. So if you're attacking into security and you inherit like +1 security damage on this guy, and they check Heaven's Judgment,
Heaven's Judgment,
it wouldn't count.
Nope, they're not gonna save you.
See,
also, he is 17,000 DP.
I feel like this is impossible for me to judge because I don't know how good the Digicross cards are and how easy it is to put it into this guy. But it is a very bombastic and flashy effect, I will say.
Here, let me help you out then. Let me give you some of the Digicross effects.
Can I ask a question first? Like, what's the the size of a main deck in Digimon?
50 cards total.
So if you want to get this down to super cheap, that's actually quite a few cards you have to put into this. And that's kind of.
So you've got cards like Security Attack +1. You've got cards like it gets +2,000 DP.
Are there Digicrosses that are like this counts as 2 Digicrosses or something like that? Are there any of those?
There are not Digicross cards like that, but there are cards that say this card can be used as any Digicross material. They're kind of like the ditto of Digicross material.
So it would get around the restriction of it having to have blue flare trait or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
God,
let's see.
That's so hard. Okay, the Shoutmon already gives it rush. That's good right off the bat. And if it, oh man, and if it gets piercing, it's pretty strong too.
Yeah, it does get piercing. Yeah. It also gets things like reboot, which means that it can attack, and then at your start of your opponent's turn, you can just become active, and it gets blocker as by another card, so you can actually use it to block as well. So there's some flexibility there.
But it's so expensive. It's like, man, it's expensive. So,
bro, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
When is the last time you seen a card that was gold that was this bad?
Don't say that. No, because I'm thinking, like, with the Apocalamon, right? Each time you did it, it's -4. This guy, each time you do it, it's -1.
Okay, let's like try to temper expectations a little bit. Apocalamon was limited to 1. He was the first secret rare card to ever get hit in the game.
No, but
so
I'm just thinking, like, even if you have like 6 Digicrosses for this guy and the Shoutmon, this guy would still cost 8. That's still a lot. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the case, yeah.
And if you tip over to your opponent's turn while playing this guy can't go. So.
I mean, he could block, right? 17,000, big chungus.
God. I think you did do the difficulty scaling on this correctly. This is probably the hardest one.
Really? All right, save the best for last, yeah.
Because it has so many, like, potential upside, but it's also so expensive. I'm locking it in. I'm going with my gut, because I really can't decide. But I think because it's so expensive, and it has, like, these limitations on it, I'm gonna say it's bad. Lock it in.
Locked in. Igni believes that a card that can gain effects like Lego blocks and reduce its own cost and not activate security options for 17,000 DP and is in golden armor is bad.
Hate this recap, dude. Every time you do it, I start second guessing myself. Yes, lock it in. It's bad.
He is absolutely correct.
Yes!
It is not great.
It's so expensive.
It is very heavy. It has a super niche use, which is even in its own decks, you only run like 1 or 2 of these. He's kind of like a finishing card. There is an option card that essentially lets you build this guy and then immediately attack before your turn ends. So it doesn't matter how much he costs. As long as you only need 1 more hit to win the game, this guy is your checkmate.
That's so niche though, right? Because you also have to have that card in hand too.
So
you need to assemble the pieces of that combo.
Exactly. So the deck itself actually focuses on some smaller pieces and is a bit more aggro in the beginning. And then it takes those aggro pieces to build up to like a level 1, like Digicross Digimon, which is like basically only needs like 1 or 2 pieces. And then like this guy is basically just like your Hail Mary trying to end the game, or like, you know, shit hits the wall, everything goes sideways kind of card.
Oh, it's sort of like a one of maybe. You just have it.
And some decks don't even include him, so yeah, not great.
Oh,
despite having gold armor, I know. I'm so sad.
That was tough, dude, because I was thinking this guy can get so strong, but when I saw that only minus is 1 and it's 50, and I'm like, no shot, because like even if you got like 6 or 7 guys, this guy would still cost a lot. So it's like,
I will say there that this card, this like Digicross like archetype of card, is actually going to be the theme of the next booster set. So if someone looks at this in the future, we could be wildly out of date.
Yeah, maybe in a few months, people will come back to this video and go like, haha, they thought that Shoutmon X7 was bad. Scrub.
How wrong they were, right? Yeah, those scrubs.
Well, East, in the end of the day, 8 out of 10, pretty good. I'm pretty happy with myself.
I'll take a B. That's a pretty, for someone who's not played Digimon, I will say your basics and like your fundamentals are so strong.
That's good. I think I definitely got debated on the Metal Greymon. I was like, seems
I might have had something to do with that as well.
There's like way better options. And then I got super debated by the big Ukkomon, thinking you could play it with the Louis, who was definitely good. But ever since card 5, I started being on my guard around you. And your seductive words that lead me astray.
Channeling Loki at my finest.
But yeah, I mean, thank you so much, East, for coming on. I appreciate you. You're a fantastic like face for the game as well. So I hope that everybody appreciates all the work you do. Guys, if you're a fan of Digimon or you're interested in Digimon from this video, make sure to go check out East at his YouTube channel, linked below and all that. And other than that, East, thank you again for your time and getting this list prepared for us. I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself too.
Dude, I had a blast. Again, shout outs and thanks to the folks in my Discord last night who were like sitting down and like we just went through like the Rolodex of like cards that look scuffed but are amazing and vice versa. They really helped out here as well. So thanks to them.
I think despite your best efforts, I still managed to get a passing grade, so I'm happy.
Honestly, I'm happy too. Like I was like, okay, he's got it in him. He knows. He's like, maybe he could be the best Digimon player out there, but he doesn't even know it yet.
Yeah, I should start locking in. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, then you're sure to like this one where I try to guess how good One Piece cards are as somebody who's never played One Piece.